King Midas was a wealthy king who ruled over the kingdom of Phrygia in Asia Minor. He was a just and fair ruler, but he had a terrible curse placed upon him by the god Dionysus. The curse was that everything he touched would turn to gold. At first, King Midas was overjoyed at the thought of having the power to turn anything he touched into gold. He thought of all the wealth and riches he could acquire, but soon he realized the terrible truth of the curse. He couldn't even eat or drink without his food and drink turning to gold. He couldn't even hug his daughter without her turning into a statue of gold. Desperate to break the curse, King Midas sought out the help of the god Apollo. Apollo told him that the only way to break the curse was to go to the river Pactolus and wash himself. King Midas did as he was told, and as soon as he washed himself in the river, the curse was lifted. However, the river Pactolus became so filled with gold dust that it turned the sands of its banks golden, and it was said that the river continued to produce gold for centuries afterwards. The tale of King Midas and his golden touch is a cautionary fable that reminds us of the dangers of greed and the importance of being content with what we have. But it also a reminder of how the ancient Greeks were the first to create stories and myths that still entertaining even to this day. Ancient Greece was a civilization that thrived in Europe more than 2,500 years ago. Greek culture was known for its art, philosophy, mythology, and its famous contributions to science and mathematics. The Greeks were a people who loved stories and myths, and they passed these stories down through the generations through poetry and plays. Many of the myths were religious in nature and told the stories of the gods and goddesses who the ancient Greeks believed controlled the forces of nature and fate. These myths were an important part of ancient Greek culture and provided the basis for their religious beliefs and rituals. Their culture of stories and mythology was not limited to the religious sphere. They were also deeply ingrained in their daily lives. The Olympics, the most famous athletic competition of ancient Greece, was held in honor of Zeus, king of the gods, and it was held every 4 years in Olympia, where athletes from all over Greece would come to compete in a variety of sports such as running, jumping, and wrestling. These games were not just about physical competitions, it was a celebration of the culture and stories of Greece. This culture of stories and myths has had a lasting impact on Western civilization, influencing literature, art, and even religion. Many of the stories and myths of ancient Greece, including the tale of King Midas, have been passed down through the centuries and continue to be retold and celebrated today. In conclusion, the tale of King Midas and his golden touch is an entertaining and thought-provoking story that illustrates how the ancient Greeks were masters of the art of storytelling. It reflects their beliefs, culture, and their way of life. Greek myths and stories continue to influence and inspire us even today, and still entertaining people after thousands of years.